Jeff, I want to take a moment here and review the lesson we had. As we take a look at this here, I first want to start off by saying it was a pleasure meeting you. I enjoyed the time we spent talking about the little things and your interests and so forth, and trying to get the game going a little bit. I know you only play once or twice a month, but still like to see a little bit of improvement and be able to know what to work on and know where to go. So initially, we're going to do a brief overview of the golf swing here. And then as we do a brief overview, then we're going to talk about what we did. And then from there, be able to discuss on what kind of drills and what you might need to do. So as we take a look here, one thing on the left-hand side here, Jeff, what we talked about was initially trying to get you a little bit better posture, a little better stance. I always tend to say is that athletic stance. So when we have that athletic stance, we also need to have something where we're actually aiming at the target, or our body is aiming towards the target. By that, when we set down a couple poles, ideally what we can see is that your shoulders are pointing right out here. You're almost probably right at that pole in the distance. Essentially, you can tell that the elbows are kind of pointing the same direction there. But as we start going down the body, see the hip pointed just a little close. And what I mean by close is that this left foot is set back away from the initial line or the initial area that we're looking to aim towards. So when we look here, we can see that the feet are aimed out here to a flag over here compared to being aimed down the line or down towards the target, what we'd like to see. So looking at the knees are going in the exact same direction as the feet. But so you can kind of see where in some cases the upper body is going to be fighting the lower body. So that's why what we can see occasionally too, from time to time, we see that the weight gets back to the heels, and as the weight gets back to the heels, we don't tend to make a proper weight transfer, a proper turn. We don't get everything initially started on the direction that we'd like to see. So what we first did and what we talked about here, first things first, is that of your stance. Now, by looking at your stance here, this was a little exaggerated, but what we did here is I told you I wanted you to, first let's get this alignment set up properly. So by getting the alignment set up properly, what we did is two poles. By using two poles, two clubs, two things that initially would be lined up towards our initial target, be set up to where you are aimed out towards our pin or our flag that's out here in the distance, but everything is aligned. Our shoulders, our knees, our feet, and consequently our hip as well are all pointing in the same direction. Well, how did we get that? Well, by setting up the two poles, two lines of parallel. Think about railroad tracks. They're always parallel no matter how far or where we go. So by saying that, what I want you to do is I want you to sit up to the line, and you can kind of watch yourself here. I'm going to have you walk through it. So I had you lean forward. Flex the knees, weight comes up. Ideally, what we're looking for is trying to get that weight up on the balls of the feet. So by leaning forward, flexing the knees, and by leaning forward, the weight goes up towards the toes. By flexing the knees, the weight should come back around the balls of our feet. By going back to the balls of our feet, that's when we bend from the waist, letting our arms hang as natural as possible. So in this case, we could have the arms hanging just a little bit more this direction compared to away from us. So not bad, but initially you can see as we go further with this, things improve and things got better. So also what we talked about from that then is also going to be the width of your stance. Now when we look at the width of your stance, this is essentially one way to look at it here. Now this is the ball drill, what we're going to go to next, but what you can clearly see in this case is a difference between where you're at here on the left-hand side and where you're at here on the right-hand side. By that I mean if we go to the insteps will line up with your underarms. By your insteps lining up with your underarms, essentially then they're going to be about shoulder width apart. We go to the outside of your feet. By going to that, you clearly see that now the stance is a lot wider than where we were on the left-hand side, which in turn will allow you to make a little bit better and a proper turn back and forth. Now, which, by looking at the stance, leads us into our next position. When we talked about our weight transfer and our turn back, what we initially see here, what I want you to pay close attention to is this pointer on it, just to show you that as you turn back here, so as you turn back, look how far and away this knee gets away from its original starting point. Now by that, what I'll use is a model. Now in the lesson here we used Ben Curtis, and so we're gonna use Ben again here. Bring him in, and like I said, he's gonna play left-handed today. So by him playing left-handed, there he is right here. So what we'll see here, as he takes the club back, shoulders start turning, he's pushing away, seeing a hip slightly turn like we see here. Hands get to the top of the swing, full shoulder turn as we see here. We got full shoulder turn over here, but look how much more those hips have turned, getting them weight back to the heels even more so than what they were originally. And by getting back in that position, now we're causing ourselves to swing around our body rather than swinging with our hands in front of our body. Now, we talked about that and touched on that for a little bit, and we'll get that to another point in time. But as we look at this here, what we see is a big difference between where that knee is, that right knee is here on the left-hand side and where Ben's right knee is here. So then as he comes down, what you'll see is you'll see a drive, the hands fall, body starts turning through at the point of impact. Here we are. With yourself, body starts to drive, and what can vary is now look how that left knee or that right knee has moved forward on the swing, causing a little less rotation of the forearms, causing the right arm in this case to get a little bent or a little bowed, as we see here. A little bowed, rather than seeing a rotation of the hands. We see Ben here. Ben comes through, rotation of the forearms and wrists, hands coming through. You can see even more so when looking at Ben here. Look how much more his weight is transferred. Look how much more weight's up off this left heel compared to if we look over here. There's still a lot of weight on that left side. Even though you've turned through, you've gotten that weight to this point, but as you drive through now, that left heel comes up. But then watch as that gets to that side, all the weight comes up off that right side. Now, because of that, what we tried to do, or what we initially tried to work on, well, first things first, I gave you the ball drill. By giving you the ball drill, what I hoped to obtain was I wanted you to feel the weight transfer back. Now, by using that and by seeing that, what we initially see was just slow, nice turns back to the left-hand side. And I'm going to play it here just to show you, but just slow, nope, wrong side. Just slow, down and through. Had you set up again. Nice and slow as you turn back. And that's all I want you to do. So what we talked about doing is actually taking a medicine ball and doing this, and or a bag or something in that case, to where as you make your turn back, you feel the shoulders, the arms, take the object back, turn the shoulders back, keeping the hips a little bit more quiet, feeling that, more importantly, feeling that left leg kind of straighten and turning around that left leg, but not seeing where that right knee dramatically turns in like we've seen right here. You know, look at the difference in just our whole body, the posture of our body. You know, if I was to ask you which position looked a lot more stable, you'd clearly say the position on the right-hand side, night and day difference. Body, legs, stable foundation, good turn through. So 10 to 15 reps, starting off with one set, working up to 2. All right, and the whole purpose of this, again, I'm going to reiterate, Jeff, is I want you to feel the transfer. I want you to feel the transfer back to from the right-hand side going to the left-hand side, feeling that load up on the left, then swing and turn down into that left-hand side. So as you work on that, the position with a golf club, what I simply wanted you to do is I slowly wanted a 2-piece takeaway. basically our one-piece takeaway. I said two-piece, but one-piece takeaway, meaning that this position here operates as one position, turning the shoulders back, letting the weight transfer back. Now, as far as and high as I went to, was essentially just the waist-high position. Now, by going to the waist-high position, all I want you to do is nice, easy swing right here. Look at the big difference between that position there and right there. Much more stable foundation. And that's all I want you to do. So by teeing a ball up here, I want the ball teed up about a ½ inch to an inch off the ground with the tee. And I want you nice, slow swing down and through. And just a little bit that we worked on, look at the difference between here and here. Body turned through properly. Look at the weight, good weight, good turn through. Good transfer here. And where I'm going to show you more so is a good rotation with the hands through here. Big difference there. Huge. Night and day, right? Look at that right there. No bowing of that right arm like we see here. Big difference. No collapsing of the wrist like we talked about. And like I said, that's going to be another discussion. But initially, if you see this, it's all I want you nice, easy swings down. So you can do this at the house without a ball or with a ball. 10 to 15 swings is all I'm asking for. Okay? Now, if you have any questions, Jeff, the whole purpose of this was getting on a proper stance, get into a better position with our stance, and two, getting a good weight transfer and turn back. So if you have any questions, by all means, I want you to give me a call, 314-724-6539, or shoot me an email at michaelwyattgolf@gmail.com. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.